I'm doing it.
Most people will never know what it's like to walk into a classroom and feel completely alone, to sit surrounded by dozens of people and still feel invisible, to hear words that seem small to everyone else but somehow stay with you for years. For Sophie Pecora, that wasn't just a bad day or a difficult phase. It became a reality she carried with her every single day. Long before she stood on one of the biggest stages in America, before millions of people heard her voice, and before a golden buzzer changed her life forever, Sophie was just a quiet girl, trying to survive something that countless young people experience, but few ever talk about openly. This is the story of how a bullied teenager transformed her pain into music and ended up inspiring millions around the world. Growing up, Sophie wasn't the loudest person in the room. She wasn't the kind of kid who naturally commanded attention or always had something to say. In fact, she often felt the exact opposite. While other kids seemed to fit in effortlessly, Sophie struggled with self-confidence and spent much of her time trapped inside her own thoughts. She has described herself as someone with a quiet personality, but a very loud mind. To many people, that might sound harmless, but for someone who constantly overthinks every interaction, every comment, and every mistake, that loud mind can become exhausting. The things people said about her didn't simply disappear at the end of the school day. They followed her home.
They replayed in her head. They became part of how she saw herself. As she entered middle school, the situation became even more difficult. Like many teenagers, Sophie found herself dealing with insecurity, self-doubt, and the complicated social dynamics that come with growing up. But what made her experience especially painful was the feeling that nobody truly understood what she was going through. On the outside, she appeared fine. She went to class, she smiled when she had to, she did what everyone expected her to do. But internally, she was struggling. The loneliness wasn't always visible, the sadness wasn't always obvious, and that's what makes emotional pain so dangerous. Sometimes the people who are hurting the most become experts at hiding it. For years, Sophie carried those feelings with her: the criticism, the anxiety, the fear of being judged, the belief that she wasn't enough. Many people facing those challenges eventually lose themselves. Some stop trying, some isolate themselves from the world, others convince themselves that their voice doesn't matter. Sophie could have gone down that path. Instead, she found something that changed everything. She found music. At first, music wasn't about fame. It wasn't about performing. It wasn't about becoming a singer-songwriter. Music became a safe place, a space where she could say things she couldn't say in normal conversations.
For someone who struggled to express her emotions out loud, songwriting became a way to organize the chaos inside her mind. Every lyric became an opportunity to tell the truth. Every song became a conversation she couldn't have anywhere else. While other people might have seen a teenager holding a guitar, Sophie was discovering a lifeline. As she continued writing, something remarkable started happening. The very emotions that once made her feel isolated began connecting her to other people. The pain she thought was uniquely hers turned out to be shared by countless others. The anxiety, the insecurity, the fear of rejection. These weren't just her struggles, they were human struggles. And the more honestly she wrote about them, the more powerful her songs became. Then came the opportunity that would change her life forever. Sophie auditioned for America's Got Talent. For most people, stepping onto that stage would be intimidating enough, but Sophie wasn't just preparing to sing. She was preparing to expose the most vulnerable parts of herself in front of millions of viewers. There was nowhere to hide, no elaborate production, no backup dancers, no distractions. Just a teenage girl, a guitar, and the truth. When Sophie walked onto the stage, she immediately appeared nervous. The judges asked her a few simple questions. She introduced herself. She revealed that she was only 15 years old. Then she shared something that instantly captured everyone's attention.
Presenter, TV host. She wasn't going to perform a cover song. She was going to perform an original song called 7th Grade. In that moment, nobody knew exactly what was coming, but within minutes, the entire room would understand. As she began singing, the audience quickly realized they weren't listening to an ordinary talent show performance. The lyrics described the emotional damage caused by bullying, insecurity, and self-doubt. They weren't polished corporate lyrics written by a team of professionals. They were honest, raw, personal. Sophie wasn't trying to impress anyone. She was telling her story. And because she was willing to be vulnerable, people connected with it immediately. The room fell silent. The judges listened carefully. The audience listened carefully. Every lyric felt authentic because it was authentic. Sophie wasn't performing a character. She was performing herself. By the time the song ended, the emotional impact was undeniable. The judges praised her honesty, her songwriting, and her ability to communicate emotions that people of all ages could understand. One judge even pointed out that despite being decades older than Sophie, he still related deeply to what she was saying. That moment revealed something powerful. Emotional truth has no age limit. The performance quickly spread online. Millions of people watched clips of her audition. Many saw their own experiences reflected in her words. Teenagers who felt isolated understood her pain.
Adults remembered their own struggles growing up. Parents saw a glimpse into challenges their children might be facing. Sophie's story resonated because it wasn't really about one girl. It was about everyone who had ever felt judged, misunderstood, or alone. But what happened next may have been even more important. Sophie didn't stop growing. She didn't remain trapped inside the identity of someone who had been hurt. Instead, her songwriting evolved. As she continued appearing on the show, her music began exploring something deeper than pain. It began exploring healing. One of the most powerful moments in her journey came when she performed songs that reflected personal growth rather than simply recounting past suffering. The focus shifted from what others had done to her toward what she had learned about herself. This evolution mattered because true transformation isn't just surviving difficult experiences, it's learning how to move beyond them. At one point, Simon Cowell offered advice that became a turning point in her story. He acknowledged the reality of bullying, but suggested that continuously focusing on the people who hurt you gives them power they don't deserve. His message was simple but profound. The ultimate victory isn't proving your critics wrong. It's reaching a point where their opinions no longer control your life. That lesson seemed to influence Sophie's artistic growth. Her later songs demonstrated increasing self-awareness, confidence, and emotional maturity.
Rather than remaining trapped in old wounds, she began exploring themes of self-acceptance, resilience, and hope. Her music wasn't just documenting pain anymore, it was documenting recovery. Perhaps that's why her journey resonated with so many people. Most inspirational stories follow a familiar pattern. Someone faces hardship, overcomes it, and succeeds. But Sophie's story felt different because it wasn't perfect. She didn't suddenly become fearless. She didn't magically eliminate every insecurity. She remained honest about her struggles. The difference was that she stopped allowing those struggles to define her future. As her performances continued, audiences responded with overwhelming support. Viewers admired not only her talent, but also her courage. In an era dominated by carefully curated social media images and constant pressure to appear perfect, Sophie offered something increasingly rare: authenticity. She showed people that vulnerability isn't weakness. Sometimes vulnerability is the greatest strength a person can possess. Her story also highlighted an important reality about bullying and mental health. The damage caused by cruel words often lasts much longer than people realize. What might seem insignificant to one person can become a lifelong memory for someone else. At the same time, her journey demonstrated that healing is possible. The experiences that once threatened to break her ultimately became the foundation of her greatest strength.
Today, Sophie Pecora represents much more than a contestant from a television show. She represents the millions of young people who struggle silently with self-doubt. She represents those who feel different, those who feel invisible, those who wonder if anyone truly understands what they're going through. Through her music, looking back, it's remarkable how much changed because one teenager decided to pick up a guitar and tell the truth. She didn't become influential because she was the loudest person in the room. She became influential because she was willing to be honest. In a world filled with noise, honesty stands out. In a world filled with filters,
authenticity becomes unforgettable. The story of Sophie Pecora isn't ultimately about America's Got Talent. It isn't about a golden buzzer. It isn't even about music. At its core, it's a story about finding your voice when the world tries to silence you. It's about discovering strength in vulnerability. It's about transforming pain into purpose. And perhaps most importantly, it's proof that even the people who feel the most broken can one day become a source of hope for millions of others. Because sometimes, the most powerful voices aren't the loudest ones. Sometimes, they're the voices that almost disappeared before they found the courage to be heard.